Hello, hello. Welcome, comadres. It is a new moon in Libra. I am Marlene, your moon goddess, and I am here with the new moon report and the Mercury retrograde report and the Pluto going direct report and the Venus getting out of Scorpio report. There is so much going on in the solar system that I imagine that there must be so much going on in our personal lives as well. And we obviously know there's a lot going on in the world. So let's jump right in because there's a lot to cover during this time. And I won't be getting into specifics of everything, but I will be getting into specifics of how everything relates to this new moon in Libra. And I was sharing with my comadres before because you're always welcome. If you're catching this later, you're always welcome to join live and to be part of the energy of the moon report. So we were talking that it is time to move forward, and I'm hoping that you find inspiration in the message today to do just that and to kind of move forward into a lighter approach. There is a lot releasing today, but in these few days, the energy could get intense before the big release. So, and I want to say big release. It's not that big, but there is a release. And I think we're going to feel it if we can focus on the messages that this new moon brings. So we're going to dive right in. There's a new moon in Libra at 13 degrees. And Libra is an air sign, and air signs are about socializing and about, bringing forward like energy of keeping the peace, getting along, working with people. When we talk about Libra and we get to that part of the zodiac, it's when the other is introduced and how we handle those relationships with the other. So Libra comes in conjunct with Mars in this new moon. And on the same day, Pluto stations to go direct. So that is intense energy just to begin with. Mars is action oriented, aggressive, moving forward, your drive. So this moon is urging us for something. It's urging us to move forward. And I think it's been rummaging in our minds. It's stuff that has been coming. It's the way that we have been growing, and we have been learning and growing. I can say that for myself. And I think that most of us have experienced a lot of things that have come up, either emotionally, physically, whatever it may be, mentally, to move us forward into this direction. And it's been a tight squeeze. And there's been a lot that has been going on. On the same token, Mercury is in Libra and it is in retrograde, appearing to go backwards in the sky. So what does that mean? Delays, things moving slowly. We have to reassess, we have to review. And Libra is about relationships. So we have a big highlight on relationships and the dynamics of relationships. Mars can be aggressive in its approach. So your first heads up for this new moon is find balance in relationships. Be aware of not to lose your cool, because this is lose your cool energy. And with Pluto being stationed, with Mars being conjunct to this new moon, there's a lot of energy around relationships and conflict around relationships. And yes, how we agree, but also how we disagree. So keep that in mind. And there is the energy of these ongoing conversations with this retrograde, these ongoing maybe conflicts. So try not to lose your cool, know your worth. Try to keep that in mind and not be angry or have to defend your worth. Ask yourself during this time, how well do I know my values? How well ingrained am I in? I mean, ingrained, is that the right word? Or how strong do I stand in my truth, but not have to fight about it, not have to come into conflict? Um, Another thing that's happening around this time is that Venus has been in Scorpio and she's in the last degrees of Scorpio. She'll be moving into the next sign soon, but she is changed. When you go through Scorpio, you're changed, you're transformed, and you've gone through some shit, and you're definitely coming on the other side as a changed energy. So, what has changed for you? What has moved into a space of, listen, this is just truth for me, and I'm sure about it, I own it, I've gone through the ringer, I've risen from the ashes, and I know that this is my truth. And it's that kind of confidence that we're lacking at this time. Why? Because right opposing the new moon in Libra is Chiron in Aries. And Chiron has been there in Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer, is an asteroid. It's not a planet, it's an asteroid, and it has the significance of our wounds and our emotional wounds primarily. And it's sitting in Aries, teaching us confidence. However, it gets tricky during this new moon. You know, Libra can be indecisive sometimes. You know, it is the scales. So the shadowy side of Libra is keeping the peace in spite of itself, keeping the harmony in spite of itself, holding back its truth. So here with Chiron and Aries, we're being pushed into learning, and we are learning, but it could show up as lack of confidence, doubt, what you are and what you are not ready for. And you're ready. You've learned. Use this Chiron and Aries energy as what it's trying to teach us. Use it as a boost, as a jolt in your confidence, rather than having it hit you in a place of insecurity. Know that it is there teaching us, maybe in a tricky way, what it's there to do. Remember what it's there to do during making certain decisions of how you're going to move forward, because this new moon, and as all new moons, are new beginnings, fresh starts. And this one is really urging us to move into something that we have been desiring. Like already, action. Now, that may look different ways. We are in a Mercury retrograde. So, you know, there's certain action we can take and other, you know, but planning, moving forward. What are you becoming aware of, or what have you become aware of during this retrograde? Because the themes are still moving and it's around the area of relationships. So where do you lack confidence or lack speaking your truth in areas of relationship, and then you end up keeping the peace or doing what somebody else wants just because you don't want to stand in your truth, or you don't want to talk, or you want to be uncomfortable, you know? Or maybe you don't have the confidence to say something. But like I said, we've been through a lot. We have been through, you know, twisting and turning and getting to know ourselves, going into the deep, dark shadows of who we are. And this Venus in Scorpio can get shadowy. She can definitely get shadowy. But at this point, she's on her way out of Scorpio. So something has changed. She's moving forward in a changed energy. And I really want to encourage you to align yourself with that, because Venus is the ruling planet of Libra. So align yourself in the way that you have changed, where you feel stronger. Where have you been a little bit reborn? And then if you're a little bit more of a, you know, avid astrologer, you know, an enthusiast, you can look in your natal chart and see where this new moon sits in 13 degrees of Libra. What house does it sit in for you? What are the themes that it wants you to look at? Where is it asking you to use this Mars energy and move forward into the area of that chart, of your natal chart? And that's really, really good way of getting clarity around these things. But in a general sense, right, it's really highlighting how we're interacting with the other. Like this is more about, Libra is about how you interact on a one-on-one. Okay. So where, again, let me bring it up. There could be disagreeing. Mars is a triggery energy. So be aware and watch conflict. Libra is also a diplomat and is always looking, in that trying to keep the peace. There are really good aspects of Libra. Libra knows how to have a relationship. Libra knows how to be fair. Libra knows how to know the scales of justice. So really great problem solver. So where are these ongoing conflicts going on, ongoing conversations? What is being highlighted in certain situations? Where is it that you're looking and reevaluating during this retrograde? Are there negotiations going on? Do you have something that's going tit for tat, like back and forth? Where are you reviewing, or what's coming up for you to revisit? Asking yourself all these things can really bring in new solutions as we move forward from this new moon energy into the full moon. So what would you like to see come to fruition by the full moon? Like, let's start using this moon magic. Solange asked me the other day what I was reading as far as rituals and stuff, and I remembered that I'm using this book, and it's very simple, but it really moves you into the space of how to use the phases of the moon. And when we're moving from a new moon into a full moon, the energy is increasing, the light is increasing. So what are we bringing in? What do we want to build? What do we want to cultivate? And then in the culmination of the illumination of the full moon, what has come to fruition from that initial intention and what hasn't? Does something need to change? Does something need to be let go of? Does something need to shift? And then the light begins to decrease back to the new moon. That's a very basic way of looking at it. There are different phases between that, but in a very basic way, we can use the light of the moon to magnetize things into our life. And then when we get clarity on what no longer serves us, then we can also use the light of the moon to let go of the things that no longer serve us. And we can do that in so many creative, witchy ways. So if you ever have questions about that or other ways of using the moon, it's really, really great. It's great to align yourself in that way with your feminine energy, how to work your feminine energy in a deeper way. It works wonders for your menstrual cycle and your relationship with your womb. And it really empowers us as women, as the power of woman. And I really encourage you to look at new solutions in that aspect, like understanding the phases of the moon and the way that you can use that to gain clarity over these new solutions, over these new things that you want to set in place, over things that have been rummaging in your mind and you just really want to move forward with it, because this can help. This can definitely help. And it can help measure your progress. Okay. So revelations can come through. Also Venus gains personal power in Scorpio. So in this new moon, a lot of insight can come from that change. And the way that this relationship with this moon is happening with Venus, I think that we should look for strong integrations that are happening now, strong insights, strong downloads based around solutions on things that you were thinking about, or a relationship that needs to be ironed out, or a conversation that needs to be had. Tapping into this energy can really bring in not only the clarity, like we were talking about, but again, that confidence, because you know you've done the work. You know that you've put in what you feel is the best that you can do, right? And this spiritual work is subtle, and it shifts, and it comes in different ways, and sometimes we feel like we can't grasp it or we can't hold it, but you know what, it shows there's rewards here. Okay. And after this new moon, I think we can start seeing like where all of this hard work has really moved us, and how we've changed with that, and what we really want. You know, I know a lot of times people are like, oh, but I just want to do the thing. And yes, sometimes the energy is ready for you to do the thing. But there's also wisdom in the time when the preparing of the thing is happening, and the creative process of the thing is happening, and that you're shifting and turning, and that you're putting things out into the universe, and the universe is matching you back, and it's asking you, hey, Esther, is this what you really want? Are you sure? Is this an emotional alignment? And then it creates some freaking chaos for us so that we can figure that out. And the astrology says, and we know, that we've gone through a lot, and a lot of shifting, and a lot of changing. So where can that integration happen? Okay. So I hope that that helps during this time. I hope that that inspires you to really use this energy and set some intentions in place, even if you're not going to be working on them right away. There's a planning phase, or there's things that have to happen, but start dreaming those intentions up. Start moving in that way. Start moving forward with these things that have been really, really moving through your mind and through your heart. So I hope that this new moon brings all of that to clarity and to light. And again, I'm always available for any questions, anything you need, like any astrology questions that you may have. There may be new comadres that are watching this, and maybe need a little bit more explanation around retrogrades, or when I say conjunctions and things like that, because you haven't heard these terms. I'd be more than happy to clarify stuff, and always happy to meet you. So thank you, comadre. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Big hug.